So the brother asks a very good question, and that is, what is our position about alternative life forms, i.e. aliens? Do Muslims believe in aliens or not? And the fact of the matter is that this isn't a funny question, it's a very serious question. But we don't call them aliens. Has Allah created other beings? Or are we the only creation of Allah? That is the question. And the response is, we will never know for sure in this world, and most likely in the next we won't care. But some scholars, including Ibn Taymiyyah, have opined that Allah Azza wa Jal has created other life forms. And that this goes back to the perfection of Allah being Al-Khallaq. Khallaq means the one who continues to create. So the notion that the only creation is us, and after we're gone there will be no other creation, it seems to suggest as if La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, that Allah is not really creating perpetually, continuously. And Ibn Taymiyyah felt that this diminishes the majesty of Allah. That he felt that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been constantly creating and will constantly continue to create to no end. And that what we know is only our world. That in our world Allah began in this manner and there's going to be Yawm al-Qiyamah. This is our portion. There are others as well, before us and after us. Are they simultaneous to us? Ibn Taymiyyah didn't talk about that. Ibn Taymiyyah is talking about the issue of Allah always creating. But there's no negation of the fact that other worlds could be simultaneous to us, or other creations could be simultaneous to us. And there are many evidences that might possibly suggest this. So please don't misquote me. Don't tweet Yasir Qadhi saying there's aliens. Please, careful. Keep my reputation and others. I'm saying there is some evidence to suggest that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created other creations. Whether they are before us or after us or the same time as us, the Quran does not mention anything. But the Quran might possibly suggest, is that clear? That there are other creations. It might possibly not suggest that either. What are some of the evidences? Number one, وَيَخْلُقُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. He has created things you will never know, you don't know about. So you will never know, which means this is not something you can see. وَيَخْلُقُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. He has created things you don't know about. And we continue to discover new species every day. That's not what Allah is talking about. Something else. Number two, that Allah says in the Quran that خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ وَبَثَّ فِيهِمَا مِن دَابَّةٍ. Allah has created all of the heavens and the earth, and He has scattered throughout all of them creatures. Not just on the earth. The samawat, and the samawat as we talked about in Surah Yusuf and in the tafsir, the samawat is not just our heavens, it is beyond our heavens. And Allah says He has scattered creatures in all of them, and if He wants to, He can gather all of them up at once. Or He can gather the two of them together. وَهُوَ عَلَى جَمْعِ مِذَا يَشَاءُ قَدِيرٌ. Now you can understand this verse to mean the Day of Judgment, which is the majority interpretation, or you can understand it to mean Allah has created all different creatures, and if He wanted to, He could cause them to meet. Both are linguistically possible. There are other evidences as well. I'll just jump straight to the one I think, Wallahu A'lam, is the strongest evidence to suggest that there might be other creations of Allah. And Allah knows best. Surah Isra, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ وَحَمَلْنَاهُمْ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ وَرَزَقْنَاهُمْ مِنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ وَفَضَّلْنَاهُمْ عَلَى كَثِيرٍ مِّمَّنْ خَلَقْنَا تَفْضِيلًا. We have honored the children of Adam, and we have carried them in the land and in the seas, in our times we add in the airs, and we have given them many things, and we have preferred them, humans, over many other things that we have created. Which means we have preferred some over them as well. Do you understand? وَفَضَّلْنَاهُمْ عَلَى كَثِيرٍ. We occupy a high rank according to this verse, but not the highest. You could interpret this. Again, you could. All of this is ihtimalat, right? Which means, now in the world that we inhabit, who is at the top of the pyramid? I mean, in the creation. It's us. Who bowed down to us? The angels, the jinn. So then we are at the top in this world of the creation, right? Yet Allah says in Surah Isra that we have honored the children of Adam over many other things we have created. Not all. So again, these are all gray areas. So to summarize, and with this we conclude, we went way over time, the Quran does not explicitly claim that there are other life forms or before or after us. But a number of famous theologians, Ibn Taymiyyah has an entire section dedicated to it, and one famous non-Muslim scholar by the name of John Hoover, John-Hoover, has written an entire paper. If you have, I think it's even on PDF, Google now, just Google it. It's called The Perpetuity of Creation in the Thought of Ibn Taymiyyah. It's in English, it's in fancy schmancy academic English, but it's in English. And you just Google it by John Hoover, The Perpetuity of Creation in the Thought of Ibn Taymiyyah. It's an entire paper where he compiles what Ibn Taymiyyah said in his evidences in simple English, well, not simple English, but in English. And basically, this is the summary of it, that he says, it befits the majesty of Allah to have created and to continue to create, and we are but one of Allah's infinite creations.